what is PS and what is the basic terminologies we'll be using in PS and what all come across in PS. How exactly we're going to structure it. But before going through, I will just let you know one thing. As already SAP consultant, you know what exactly the SAP is. It is garbage in, garbage out. If we say it in very our language.
Yeah.
And even in SAP PS also, how we are going to structure the project, the way we are going to get the reports.
Okay.
Because finally, every professional will struggle to get the reports. They want to see the dashboards. I mean, they want to see the reports, where exactly they are into. The management is interested only in reports. They are not the least bothered about what's happening at the ground level. So in PS, especially in PS, the management is very keen to know where exactly they are standing on a particular day. So there is how, even if they want to see it before to this one, how we are going to structure the project, how we are going to divide the project, how we are going to break down the things, or else how we are going to integrate it. I mean, how we are going to assemble the things. This is all depends upon the skill of the end user, how he wants to do structuring his project. End user is nothing but a project manager. So if he just want to monitor in a single line item, yes, he can do it. Or else if you want to break down it into a very minimal thing, even if you want to capture it for a cost of 5 rupees also, yes, he can do it. Or else if you want to capture the things only at a direct cost level, maybe $10,000, yes, he can directly do that level also. So it entirely depends upon the skill of the project manager, how he is going to structure the project. I will walk you through the structure, how you're going to do the structuring and how you're going to capture the things.
Got it.
So normally, what all the things will be covered in project systems? So one is the project structures. As I told you, how we're going to structure the project. I mean, it is a blueprint. Structuring is nothing but a blueprint. First, we will be blueprinting the things and we will be developing a skeleton structure of a building. Likewise, then we will be doing all the plastering, painting, and everything to cosmetize it. The same way in project systems also, how we are going to structure the things. Hierarchically, how which networks belongs to which WBS belongs to which level of WBS, who is the parent one and who is a child, how they're going to report it, whether the WBS has the billing element or the revenue element or the planning element, whether the WBS generates the revenue or not, whether the this WBS only uh, expenses the cost, what exactly the WBS is meant for, and how many networks this WBS has, what is the nature of networks, and what are the nature of activities belongs to this particular network. Everything we are going to structure it. There is a very initial stage. Okay, and the
Okay.
next thing is my cost and my budgets. First, I will be planning my cost. Then I will be given the budget to the particular line items. Suppose if I give it in a very normal way, so I am planning for constructing a house. So first I will have in a very brief mind, okay, for constructing just to purchase an apartment somewhere in Bangalore or in Hyderabad. So how exactly, how much exactly it will cost? I may assume that okay, it may cost 30 lakhs. 2 BHK. A typical 2 BHK apartment will cost 30 lakhs. Okay, and what about the furniture? How I'm going to do it? I will be calculating my cost here. Then I will be allocating the budget. This one. Cost will be carried out from bottom to top, and budget will be given from top to bottom. I will just walk you through. I'm just giving you the glimpse what exactly we're
Yeah,
going
yeah.
to do. And in
Okay.
each and every unit, I will be walking you through how the cost will be flowing down and how the cost will be flowing up and how the budget will be flowing down. And the next part is the materials. We are going to assign materials to the activities or to the WBS. So are you aware about WBS and activities, all this? Or else I have to
Uh,
take you through the entire thing. I'm just
well,
giving you.
I've heard, I've heard it, I've used it obviously, in my, the sales order, the processing, but I don't think, I have a
Okay. Yeah,
complete,
I got it. So in sales order, you may be just using your account assignment as a WBS or activity.
correct. Yes.
Yes. Okay, I will walk you through the hierarchy of the WBS and activities and how they are interlinked and everything. It
Yeah.
comes under project structures.
Okay.
Okay, I mean, here just is if you want to procure the external materials or the internal materials are nothing but our resources, and also the service materials. The service deliverables also considered as service materials. Obviously, we'll be knowing how we're going to create a service materials, and we will be assigning these service materials under activities or WBS, and that can be trigger that will trigger the next process. And ultimately, the revenues and payments, AP and AR can be done from project systems.
Okay.
Ultimately, the period end closing, the PEC things. See here, most of the things it is a controlling sales. I mean SD, MM, FI, CO. Most of the things we have covered here. I mean in project systems, if you see the cost and budget, it is most of the controlling part. My tolerance limit and everything. The controlling CO has come here. And the materials. I'm going to assign the materials. What kind of materials I'm going to assign it? What is the materials availability? And what kind of material? It is non-stock or stock, special stock, project stock. What kind of material it is? How I'm going to do the procurement? Everything covers here. So MM has been highly integrated here. Revenues and payments. So what is the revenue I'm going to get in this particular WBS? It has been linked with SD. All WBS, who are all the revenue generator WBS, it will be linked with the sales order. SD has been integrated here. And the payments. Payments, nothing but the confirmations, actual confirmations or payment to vendors and the reports. Most of our project reports can be driven here. AP and AR covered here. And PEC jobs. Do you know what is PEC? The settlements and result analysis.
Yeah.
So do you have any idea on this one, the settlements? So why we are going to settle the things? Why we have to do the result analysis?
I have a high level, the idea. Funny, obviously, that we use it for our, the service order, the process, right?
Hmm.
So we have a, I mean, we start, everything with the service notification, and then service order is created. We do the, the resource planning. Once the, the service work is, the completed, we do the results analysis, and then we do the, the settlement. If it is a month end, right? That way, everything is, taken out of, the service order and put under the, the cost object. We have, the used PSG as a, the cost object. In some cases, we have used, the GL accounts as a, the cost object, and then we let it go through the, the resource related, the billing, and after the, the final invoicing is created, we do the, the results analysis and, the final settlement.
The basic fund of it is a process what you are explaining. The basic fund of why we do RA and settlement is we have to do RA to know the progress of the projects. I mean, to exactly know where exactly we are financially. So, what is the revenue we're getting, and what is the work in progress, whether it is surplus, or whether there is a the still WIP is there. To know the health status of the project, we will run the result analysis. There
Okay.
are almost 18 result analysis keys, RA keys given by SAP.
Okay.
There are almost 18 methods. I mean, how exactly you're going to do your result analysis? Whether you will be doing with the progress methods, or you will be doing your result analysis by the revenue recognition method, or you will be doing it through the cost actual cost expenditures method. There are almost 18 methods. If you see in SPRO configuration part, you will find 18 array keys,
Okay.
SAP given array keys. So this is why we exactly run array to know the health status of a project, financial health status of a project, to know the progress of a project.
Okay.
And why do we settlement is normally all our service or sales order or service orders or my PO objects. These are all very temporary things. Tomorrow I'm going to close it down. I'm going to close service orders. I'm going to close service orders, and I'm going to close my projects. So these are all temporary objects. We cannot hold our financial things under these objects.
Got it.
As per FI, we have to settle it to my FI components, that is to GLs or to cost centers, anywhere else,
Yeah.
at least to cost elements also. That's why we do settlement in order, I mean, I'm transferring my cost from one object to another object. If we speak in business language, my branch in Kuwait has incurred the cost of $10,000. So that has to transfer to my head office account, because head office will account all the cost incurred by its branches.
Got it.
So it will accumulate all the cost, and it will take the cost from the Kuwait branch, and it will make it as its own cost. Also the revenues also, not only cost. The settlements will not take us not only for the cost, also for the revenues. So my Kuwait branch has it has been generated a revenue of $12,000 in this particular period. So these $12,000 will be transferred to the head office account. Ultimately, if you talk about the balance sheets and P&L account, everything the same they will do. Our FI guys, then we in the project systems, or else in project management, we will be doing PEC by running RA and by doing settlements. We
Okay.
will be clearing off our accounts. So we will not be holding, at the end of the day, we will not be holding any revenues or expenses under our umbrella. We will be transferring it to their accounts. I mean to a permanent accounts.
Okay.
Generally, if we want to become an SAP consultant, first we should know the business. I mean, that's why I'll be more insisting on the business part.
Okay.
So normally, how exactly my PS life cycle is comes here into. So first, we will be starting with the operative structures. As I told you, how we are going to structure my project. I will be creating I will be planning my structure. I mean, hierarchy levels. So I will be assigning the WBS, under the WBS the networks, under the networks my activities, under the activities I will be assigning my material components. I will be structuring my project, and the next part comes with the planning part. So how exactly I'm going to do it, how I'm going to interlink one activity to another activity. I can establish a relationship between the activities. If you see, if you remember the PERT and CPM part, where we will be doing the relationship, start activity 1, ending start activity 2, finish to start, start to finish to finish, start to start. Do you remember these
Yeah.
relationships in PERT and CPM?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the same thing PS uses here. PS is based on completely on PERT and CPM.
Okay.
So how the activities will trigger, whether it is start to finish, finish to start. I mean, it is properly integrated. If we look into the activities part in CJ20N T code, you will see what is the relationship existing between this activity to another activity. We can establish this one. And the next part is the budgeting. In planning, both comes the time and cost. Both you can do the planning here. And the next thing is budgeting. So once I am done with my planning, I will be knowing how much cost I am going to occur for each and every activity. So once I've been established, so the management, they are going to give you a budget. Okay, you are telling that the entire project will cost 360 crores. Fine. So I will be allocating you a budget of 350 crores, and you are supposed to finish a project in 350 crores. This kind of targets will be set by management. Our part, at a ground level, I mean, the project managers, they will be giving only the cost. The budget will be decided by the management. Whatever the preliminary budget prepared by us is nothing but a cost estimation. It is only a cost estimation. Once we submit, I mean, the project managers or the budgeting engineers submit the cost to the management, they will approve it. Then it is called as a budget. The approved cost planning is called as a budget.
Okay.
Once the budget is been approved and set, it has to be allocated to the different components in PS, like the WBS. Budgets will not be assigned to activities. Budget will all be assigned to WBS, different levels of WBS. Activities are only cost occurring objects. Are you following, Prabha? Here?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, because this is the most critical part. We need to understand what is what here.
Yep.
Even I will be walk you through that one, and whenever the things comes, I will be insisting some of the things where we have to little focus the things.
Yep.
We have to emphasize. I will be emphasizing more on such kind of things, such very critical points. How exactly the relationship between the components within the PS. Activities are only cost incurring objects. Activities will never ever take care about the revenues, or
Okay.
their even budgets cannot be assigned to the activities.
Okay.
Budgets and revenues can only be assigned and revenues can only be generated from WBS.
Okay.
WBS is work breakdown structure.
Okay.
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 And once I am done with my budgeting, once I've allocated my budget, I have to release the budget. Until and unless I release my budget in SAP, these budgets are not being allocated to a particular WBS. Creating a budget, assigning a budget is a different thing, but we have to release the budget.
Got it.
Again, in budget also we can enhance the budget and we can transfer. Sorry, we can transfer the budget. We can supplement the budget. There are a lot more things in budget. Okay.
Okay.
Here, if you see, each and every stage has its own importance and it has got its own babies again. It has got a lot of process in each and every step. And even the main thing is the execution part. In execution, your actuals will get captured here. Actuals is PO. Actuals will be captured from these points. From PO especially from materials. Once I'm done with the materials, once GI happens, the actual cost will get captured. Or if it is a non-stock GA, when it is an stock item, if GA happens, then cost will get captured. Or else if it is a timesheet confirmations, actual confirmations, or that finance postings, actuals will happen. These are all the execution parts.
Okay.
And once the execution are done, closing operations. Closing operations nothing but my PECs, or I may be closing my projects. Once the projects have been executed for a couple of years, I'm going to close my project. Then I will be using my closing operations or my regular PEC jobs. Every month or every quarterly, how exactly the company wants to, how exactly the management wants to do their reporting systems. And the next is IS, information systems. All my reports, A to Z reports. You can track down your project from initiation at any stage of the project. There are lot of reports given by SAP itself in PS. Even if you see in SAP menu tree, there is separate heading called information systems where you will see only reports in SAP. If you go to an SAP menu, you will see only reports, all S_AR reports, your financial reports, our time reporting reports. There are a lot more reports are there. We can use the appropriate reports and we can make use of it. And hence, in reports, especially in PS, it is a very minimal to go with the customization.
Okay.
Rise of objects are minimal in PS. Because SAP itself has given a lot of things in SAP PS. But yes, we will go with Z customizations a lot in PS integration with other modules. So how normally typically my project works? Project normally, if you talk about any project, any activity which has a start and which has an end is termed as a project. It is as simple as that. As you told in the very first thing in the morning, you will be looking after more into investment projects. So why company wants to track it down? Because they are investing on a particular asset. They wants to know how much they are spending on this particular activity because it is an investment for them. They are not getting revenue on its very first day. And hence they are very keen about how much they are spending on on each and every stage of a project. That's why they will use project systems, especially to track down their day-to-day cost and day-to-day progress, where exactly they are into and how much time they will be taking up for the finishing of the project, and where they will be standing on exact day. To calculate all those things, they will be using PS normally.
Got it.
So normally, what kind of projects we'll be having, and what are the industry sectors which will be using PS? So normally, the project types we will be having is investment projects, the customer projects, internal projects, research and development. These are all R&D projects where most of the things like in if you look into pharma industries, these kind of projects will be more R&D projects. Customer projects, if you take into engineering and construction or in telecommunications, they will be using more the customer projects. Investment projects, as each and every industry will be using the investment projects when they want to enhance themselves, when they want to upgrade themselves, they will be doing a lot of investments. They may be procuring the assets, they may be purchasing the assets, or they may be constructing the assets.
Yeah. We also use a lot of customer projects. Yeah. And
Yeah,
in
even
fact,
oil and gas industries and engineering and constructions both goes in way by way.
yeah,
The basic fund of construction and oil gas is same. The only thing is oil and gas they have the direct customers. Construction will not have the direct customers. That's the only major difference.
okay.
Did you get a glimpse of project types? What we are going to use in PS?
Yeah, yeah.
Now, basically, if we classify, we are going to classify majorly into three types only: internal projects, customer projects, and investment or R&D projects.
Okay.
In customer projects, the only difference between the internal projects and customer projects are internal projects, there are no revenue generation. Customer projects, there are revenue generations.
Okay.
And investment projects, we will be creating assets.
Yep.
So we will be accumulating everything. We will be capturing the cost under AUC. It differs only by the project profiles. How we are going to how we are going to differentiate the project types is the project profile. You might have seen in SPRO under project systems, the project profiles, budget profiles, planning profiles. Did you get a chance to go through SPRO settings in under the PS tab?
No, I haven't done that, but
Okay, okay.
I've seen the profiles, the project, the profile and the planning profiles
Uh,
while creating a
yeah,
project.
actually, the project profile determines what kind of project it is.
Okay.
Whether it is an investment project or whether it is a customer project or it is an internal project. The only thing is the internal project and investment projects, they don't have the customer profiles with this one. I mean, they don't have the revenue recognition items with them. RA will not be done on these projects, on internal and investment projects. RA will be done only on customer projects.
Okay.
Now we will be just learning about the structures part. So what is WBS and what networks? As the name itself indicates, the WBS is work breakdown structures. I'm going to break my work into different levels. First, I will be having one project definition. It is a topmost hierarchy. If you see in my illustrative example, it is given as a P. P is a very topmost level. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, P is at a very topmost level. It is a project. It is where it accumulates each and everything. It is the head of the department. And if you see at a very first level, P1, P2, P3, P4, these are the first level of WBS,
Okay.
where they are the parent for the next WBS activities. And P1, this level 1 WBS indicates the nature of works we are going to do. Suppose I'm constructing a dock. I'm constructing a harbor. Construction of an harbor itself is a project definition. It is at a very high hierarchy level. You can call it as a P. It is a project level. Under the construction of an harbor, you can differentiate. First, I'm going to do my mechanical part, civil part, electrical part, and miscellaneous. The civil part, mechanical part, electrical part, miscellaneous, this all comes under level 1 WBS. Under civil, again you will have the different set of things. So what are the civil activities I'm going to perform? There again the level 3, level 4, level 5. Again for level 3, again there will be some babies. There will be level 4. For level 4, it may have some other babies. And again for level 5, it may have some other babies. In the meanwhile, if you see in mechanical part also will have procurement of my heavy machineries, maintenance of machineries. You can mark as a WBS for those.
Got it.
If you see this P1, P2, P3, P4, these are all indicated as a level 1 WBS. P111, P12, P21, P22, these are all the second level of WBS.
Got it.
Under blue, you can see the light. There's a light green boxes are there.
Yep.
Those are all the activities.
Okay. How many levels of the WBS that can be created in a project? Is it unlimited or there is a limit to it?
Theoretically, it is an unlimited, but practically there are 99 levels you can create. 99 levels itself is a very, 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 very huge.
Yeah.
If you refer SAP PLM books, they will give it as an n number of unlimited.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
But practically you cannot exceed not more than 99 levels. 99 levels itself gives you a huge structure. Almost if you encase structure physically, it almost reaches to Paris Eiffel Tower.
Got it.
Normally, any projects, as for in my experience, what I have seen, it will not exceed not more than 6 levels.
Yeah, we also use the 6 levels the here one.
Yeah, because even there's only parent levels we're talking about. Again, they will have the babies, and babies will have again furthermore babies, the child WBS, and they will be integrated. It will be very cumbersome. We shouldn't be creating a very complex structure also. Even though when we are drilling it to a very minute level, it shouldn't be very complicated, so that when you drill down the report, you will be losing your stuff. I mean, you will lost.
Yeah.
And if you see here the light green ones, they are the networks. Network is a collection of an activities. Network literally, it does not technically, it does not have any prominence. Only activities will have the prominence. It have the importance. Network is only a collection of activities I'm going to perform.
Okay.
The activities are internal activities, external activities, service activities, and cost activities.
Okay.
There are 4 types of activities. I will be taking you through. There are next further slides are there.
Okay.
So network is only a collection of activities. That is why even technically we will not be creating any network under WBS. We will be assigning or creating only activities. Once we save, automatically network will be created. Network is only a header part.
Got it.
We can't say it is a dummy. It has its own value, but technically no data or no cost will be stored under network headers. All my data, the cost or everything will be stored under network activities.
Okay.
So these are normal terminologies we will be using in SAP PS. The project definition, operative workbench structures, WBS element. Here you may find it as an operative work breakdown structure and WBS element. WBS element and work breakdown structure both are one and same. Technically, there is no difference. But in SAP PS, in the right hand side of the column, you will be finding two things called as an operative work breakdown structure and WBS elements. Obviously, WBS elements will be assigned under WBS. WBS element is nothing but a baby WBS.
Okay.
Technically, both have the same same features.
Okay.
And the project planning.
Can you repeat, what you just explained about the, the operative, the work breakdown structure?
Operative work breakdown structure is nothing but an my WBS.
Okay.
There's no difference. Operative is I'm using in my projects. That is called operative WBS.
Okay.
In template, there will be normally there will be two types of templates. One is operative, another one is this different one. I will see in the SAP screen. I will tell you that one.
That's fine.
WBS
Anyway,
yeah.
We'll definitely go. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. Anyway, I was about to say that we'll be definitely going through it in detail, right? When we talk about those the specific the topics in the the upcoming sessions. Yeah.
Yes,
I thought.
yes.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Another one is my project planning, where I will be doing my planning of dates and planning of cost. It is only terminology what we have discussed so far, and everything has been jotted down here. And the network, milestones, settlement, standard project definition, standard work breakdown structure. Just a glimpse of, the definitions, what exactly the project definitions and what is operative work breakdown structure, WBS element. Here, how exactly my project phases are. So typical my projects start with during my conceptual stages only. So whenever my sales department, my marketing department, they float a quotation to its customers, that day itself I can create a project. I may create a project. If I talk in very literally thing, I will be creating a project from the day one itself. So normally my marketing team, my sales team, what they will be doing, they will be floating quotations to different customers on the products what all they are available with. So when they float the quotation, in the meanwhile, I can create my project. Or else through assembly process itself, my WBS automatically will get created once I have the project definition ready in my CJ20M. So during quotation itself, I can do my preliminary planning. I will be capturing the cost. I will be estimating the things. So how much cost will be occurring in a particular phase. So in this particular activity, how much cost will be there. So I can do my preliminary costing and I can get ready with this one. Once my quotation has been converted to a sales order, once my quotation get approved and it's been confirmed, then I'm going to do my detailed planning and I will be allocating the budget and I will be releasing the budget. Ultimately, I'm going to release my project and then I will be starting my execution. And in PS, just to remember one thing, Until and unless we release the project or we release the WBS, we cannot post anything, not even a single paisa on this particular object. First, we
Correct.
have to release it.
Yes.
First, we have to release the projects, or first we have to release the WBS. Then only technically we can work on this one. Once we are done this one, then we are going to technically close the project. These all comes under in status of the projects. I will be explaining it to you more on that part. I'm just giving you a glimpse of it. So without releasing my project, I am not going to execute. I mean, system will not allow you to execute it. System will not allow you to capture the cost on a particular components. Once everything is done, my closing process will start. I mean, I'm going to settle it. I'm going to run my RA. I'm going to do my full settlements. Then I'm going to mark it as a TCO in my status. Once it has been TCO, then we can close it.
Got it.
So how my SAP is being integrated with the different modules. If you talk about SAP FICO, my RA calculation, RA analysis, my settlement, everything will be related to PS. In my investment management, is nothing but my budgeting. So how much budget has been allocated in my how SAP has been treated with this CADS, workforce planning, and everything. SAP MM purchase orders, SAP P is production orders, PM is my plant maintenance, AM, AR, AP, everything. So here we are going to know more about the project structures. How I'm going to structure my project. So normally before this one, I'm going to do my planning as the same thing, planning, budgeting, and execution. How I'm going to do my, how I'm going to construct my, how I'm going to structure my project in CJ20N. CJ20N is a master T code where you will be doing lot of activities there. You will be structuring your project, you will be executing your project, you will be releasing your PRs, and you will be capturing your actual cost in CA20 itself. You will be closing the projects, and again you can release the projects from there itself. CA21 is a master T code where it is highly integrated with all the modules in SAP.
Okay.
So the dates, what all I can do in my WBS structures. So I can assign my dates, I can allocate my budgets and my commitments. The basic difference between the actual cost and commitments is all my purchase equations and purchase orders comes under commitments. It only gets converted into actuals once GR RGI happens. If it is a project stock, once GI happens, then actual cost will get captured. If it is a non-stock, once GR happens, then only the actual will get confirmed. Till then, it will be a part of commitments.
Okay.
Even commitments also consumes my budget. This we need to remember.
Okay.
Suppose I have allocated $100 to my particular WBS. Under the WBS, if there are 3 baby WBS under this one, I have allocated $100 to my level 2 WBS. For level 2, there is a level 3, level 4, level 5 being assigned under level 2. Under level 2, there are 3 level 3s. Under level 3, 1, there are 1 level 4. Under level 3, 2, there are 1 level 4. Under level 3, 3, level 3, 2, level 3, third one, I have one more baby one. Accumulating all these, I have allocated only $100 as my budget. My budget will get consumed once the commitment get triggers. If I'm going to exceed or when I'm going to near my consumption of a budget, system will trigger us warning messages, information messages, and error messages. These things will be configured in tolerance. What is my tolerance? If suppose my budget get consumed at 70%, I'm going to get an information message. If my budget going to get consumed by 80%, I'm going to get a warning message. If my budget get consumed by 95%, then I will be getting an error message. Once we get an error message, we cannot execute furthermore.
Got it.
That will be stopped over there.
Yep.
And my periodic processings, all my overheads will get captured here, my processing cost and my RA settlement and everything. My payment data, all the vendors, how I'm going to pay them and how much I have paid them, my actuals and everything will get captured here. My revenues, how much revenue I got it in a particular WBS. And see everywhere you can see some planned revenues, planned cost, actual cost. How I'm going to create my WBS. So normally, as an SD consultant, we can create an assembly processing also. What is assembly processing? Whenever we are creating an sales order, especially the service materials, for service materials, so the material type what we are going to use there, those material types being assigned to my standard network CS. So when I'm using the same project type and this whenever I'm creating a sales order, automatically through assembly process, this WBS will get created under my project.
Okay. So this process, starts with the sales order, and then indirectly, the WBS, will be, the created under the project, is it?
Yes, yes. Before this one, I should be creating a project definition in my PS.
Okay. Okay.
I should have a project definition.
Okay.
Then only the assembly process works. Because my project is nothing but an father of my this one. Without
Okay.
father, the child cannot be sustained. As simple as
Got
so.
it. Got it. So we'll be looking at these processes as well, right, in our
Yes,
sessions? Yeah. Yeah.
yes, yes.
Okay.
I'll be walking through. Especially SAP PS is 10% in SAP and 90% is business. You should know the business first. I mean, how exactly it has been integrated, what's happening in the background, what point my PS will get integrated with SD, at what point my PS will integrate with MM, and the rest 10% is only how you're going to play things in SAP.
Okay.
This is how my project profile looks like. I mean, what all the features I'm going to have it. I will have the organization data here. What is my controlling area? What is my company code? What is my business area? And even one beauty of my PS is I have multiple company codes, different levels of my WBS. WBS 1 belongs to company code A. WBS 2 may belongs to company code B.
Okay.
It is nothing but an ICRRB. If I'm having an ICRRB scenario in my organization, I can make use of this one.
Okay. So you're saying that the project is for the cross company
Yes, yes.
setup. Okay.
Intercompany. Normally, even in most of the oil and gas industries, ICRB is a very prevalent one. Intercompany resource related billing, like how we do RRB, na?
Yeah.
For RRB, we'll have the dip profile, and we'll be generating the cost directly from DP93 and everything. DP93, DP91 will be using for RRB. The same way, ICRB also will be there. It is an intercompany resource related billing where my resources, the resources belongs to India, will work to Australia, and Indian team will bill to Australian team. It is an ICRRB. They
Okay.
cannot have a proper sales order between intercompanies. Again, it is an tax issues. You should not be creating a sales order from India to Australia under the same controlling area.
Got it.
That's why we'll be using SCRRB. The main thing is my project coding mask. Project coding mask is nothing but a naming ceremony. How I'm going to define my project? I will have a different projects, right? So what is my project? How I'm going to give my project coding mask? By looking at the project coding mask, people will determine, okay, this project belongs to this company code. This is this kind of nature. Normally, if you might be using some very typical names, WBS for different investment projects, or for customer project, it will be different name. You might have come across those. Whenever you will be using WBS account assignments in your SD, you might have observed they might be with a very unique fashion. They will be starting with first four alpha characters, and next three will be the numeric one with a dot in between.
Yes.
The
Yep.
nomenclature of WBS, you might have find it in a very unique way.
Correct. Yep.
Whatever the WBS you'll be using, they will be in the same fashion. Number of characters will be same, and first there will be four alpha characters, and again numerical will comes, or the sequence will be the same one. What all the WBS will be using, the sequence that will be defined here in project coding mask. I will be defining it, how many characters I'm supposed to use it, and how many special characters, and what exactly my structure, my way should be. Here, if you see 00XX in the screen, 0 refers the numeric one. So wherever I have given it a 0, only numeric should be there.
Okay.
Suppose I have given a coding mask as 000 hyphen X hyphen X. In the first four digit, I have given it as a numeric one. So whenever I'm creating a project, system will not allow me to divert from this structure. Suppose I'm using, rather than 0, I'm using as an alpha characters. Suppose I'm using IND as my first characters, first three characters. System will not allow me. System will throw an error. And also this represents, even if you look at a particular WBS number, it will tell us which level of WBS you are using it.
Okay.
That's what is called as an coding mask. You can study from this WBS number itself. By just looking at WBS, you can say, okay, this is a level 1 WBS, this is a level 2 WBS, this is a level 3 WBS. I will just walk you through once we open with the system. I mean, how exactly we have to study this one, and what is the use of this coding mask. This coding
Yeah.
mask will let you use the number of WBS in a project systems. As you asked them, so you will be using 6 levels of WBS. These 6 levels will be determined how you are defining your coding mask.
Got it.
So these are only master data in PS. I mean the structures, templates.
Yep.
Templates are the only master data the PS guys will be maintained. And we can say we PS guys will be using other master data which has been maintained by SD and MM guys.
Got it.
Project builder is another part in CA20N. So the entire PS starts with the CA20N and ends with CA20N. You need to remember the only T code in PS. Yes, of course, there are a lot of other T codes also there, but your 90% of your time will be spent in CA20N only. It is an heavy transaction where you can do each and everything. You can navigate to other T codes from CA20N only. This is how my CA20N screen looks like.
Okay.
So if you see this one, this is the hierarchy. So this is a project definition. If you see T20099,
Yep.
this is my project definition. And under the same one, if you see T2099, it is a level 1 WBS. Always the level 1 WBS, the name of the level 1 WS is same as my project definition, and I will be creating only one level 1. My level 1 WS will be only one. I should not be creating the parallel level 1 WS.
Okay.
Even also, whenever I'm creating in my project profile, I will be deciding whether the project will have a single sales order or multiple sales orders. I can decide that one. The entire
Okay.
project may end up with only single sales order, or my each and every WBS will have its own different sales orders. Even I can decide that one.
Okay.
If you see here, this part, the left bottom part, this is your normal project, your project objects. And your right part is our dashboard. I mean, whenever you click on any object, it will show your properties of this one. So each and every tab is has its own importance. Its basic data, dates, assignments, what are my controlling activities, and user fields and all. Those are very dummy activities, dummy tabs. Very rarely will be using those tabs. Those tabs will be used in only in rise of objects.
Okay.
Whenever we're going for rise of objects, then we will be making use of those tabs, user fields and all. Basically,
Okay.
we will end up using only with the basic data, assignments, and control tabs.
Okay.
This is how normally my PS hierarchy will look like. My top level, my first project definition, level 1 WBS, level 2 WBS. If you take in any one of the things, these are all the network activities belongs to particular level WBS. This screen is available in SAP. You can see this screen in SAP also in project builder.
Okay.
How my activities are being assigned to my networks, how the activities are interlinked. My activities and networks. What are my activities? What can be done in activities? See, in activities, you can see only the date, cost, resource, and material requirements, but nowhere you are seeing the revenue thing.
Yeah.
Revenue will be captured only at WBS,
WBS.
because
Okay.
WBS will only have the capacity. It is the only umbrella where it can hold the cost and revenues both.
Okay.
The container of WBS is very bigger one, comparable to networks and activities. Network and activities are very small objects. Each WBS can hold thousands of activities.
Okay.
So you can minimize, you can scale it to yourself only what is WBS and what is activities. Activities are a very minimal thing. They are very least what you can say, drill down objects in projects. But activities and networks plays a very important role in capturing the cost. Cost will be captured activities and it will be flowed towards WBS.
Okay.
WBS, the beauty of this one is WBS will have its own cost and also the cost of its babies.
Can you repeat what you just said? Will have its own, the cost, and then
WBS will incur or may incur its own cost, and
okay.
also it holds the cost of its babies also.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Suppose the WBS will have two level of WBS more. It is in level 2 WBS. It will have the level 3 and level 4 WBS also. Prabha, just hold on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sure.
Sorry, Prabha.
Hey, no problem.
Suppose level 2 WBS will have the level 3 and level 4 WBS. So level 2 WBS will hold the cost of level 2 itself, and also it will capture the cost of level 3 and level 4.
Okay.
I mean, the cost will be accumulating from bottom to top.
Okay.
So in level 3 and level 4, it will be accumulating the cost incurred by its activities. Level 3 and level 4 will have its activities. So that what all the cost occurred by those activities will be captured. I mean, it will be holding in level 3 WBS. All cost will be accumulated here, and it will be accumulated at the top of level 2 WBS.
Got it.
This is how the cost will flow. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. And these are type of activities. As I told you, internal activities, external activities, service activities, and cost activities. Internal activities, why we take internal activities is, so whenever internally I am performing a job, suppose I am producing some goods internally. So I'm finishing. I'm producing some finished goods. Is my production. Production is happening within my unit. There's nothing but my internal activities. So under internal activities, I will be assigning the resources. There's the manpower. There's the under the personal assignment tab. I will be assigning who are all the persons responsible for this activity. So I'll be assigning this, and they will be confirming through CATs, or their confirmation can be done in this one.
Okay.
Under my external activities, as the name itself indicates, it is an external activities. Whenever I am procuring externally, I am going to use this activity. External procuring, it may have the materials or also the services. SAP has given us service activities specially for to procure the services externally. See, even internal activities also I am taking the services, but it is internally. Only in internal activity tab you will have the personal assignment, where you will be assigning the resources under the activities, and those resources will be performing their job, and those costs will be captured under these activities.
Okay.
Each and you see the internal activity, external activity, and service activities, though these three perform the very similar functions, but it will make a difference what exactly and how exactly they are going to relate to it. Even internal activities also, you can assign the material components. Procurement can be done through internal activities also. But whenever you are doing procurement through internal activity, it means that you are procuring the materials internally, not from externally.
Okay.
If you assign the same material component to external activities, it means that you are procuring the material externally.
Okay.
If you assign the persons to internal activity, it means that they are the internal persons. They have their cost centers, they are under the same company code, and they will be performing their activities for this particular activity, and their cost will be captured automatically. That is through KP26. I mean, in KP26, I will be defining my per hour cost to the cost center and to this particular combination.
Activity type. Yeah.
And if it is my services, I am procuring services from my external vendors. I mean, I'm getting the services. The same services what I'm getting internally, the same services I'm getting externally also. There externally, I'm not going to maintain each and individual person as my vendor. I'm not supposed to maintain them as. I'm just maintaining them as a vendor where the vendor will give the services. I'm least bothered about the number of persons working on those. I'm only bothered about the services, whether the activity has been getting completed or not. I'm only bothered about that. That time I'm going to use my service activity.
Yes.
My cost activity is nothing but an whenever I'm planning my petty expenses. Suppose my travel expenses. In my project, my travel, I have to capture my travel expenses separately. So I will be creating my cost activity and I will be posting all my travel expenses or petty expenses, my sundry expenses. under cost activities.
Okay. Okay.
So these are the 4 types of activities in my project systems. Now you got to know what is internal activities and external activities and service activities. What internal activity will do, what my external activity will do, and what my service activity will do. See, internal activities. In internal activities, the major thing is my work, my dates, my capacities, and my cost. Capacities are the very important one here. How many capacities? My capacity requirement planning will be done in my internal activities. And in external activities, same thing. Dates, costs are there. One more thing, my commitments and my payments comes under my external activities. See, in internal activity, there are no payments. There are only costs are there. Because in my internally, I'm not going to pay my employees. I mean, the payment will be happening in my HRMS. But when it comes to PS, it is only cost. It is in a very, if you talk about any very project management terms, whenever I'm using a resource, skills, so the cost will be incurred. I'm not going to pay to my internal employees.
Nice. Yeah.
I'm going to only capture their cost, per hour cost. This per hour cost will be, I mean, I will be planning through KP26 one. This will be in turn, how this will trigger is the work center I'm going to use in my internal activity tab, and the plant I'm going to use it, and the activity type I'm going to use in my internal activity tab. I will be
Okay.
defining my activity type in my internal activity tab. That will give me planned cost, and the actual cost will be getting from the combination of the cost center of the employee and the work center I have used in my internal activity. Work center will have its own activity type, the activity type and the cost center of the employees. For this combination, I will be maintaining some cost in KP26 on a particular period. Again, if the cost is not maintained, system will throw an error. I mean, it will not throw an error. The confirmation will not happen. It will go and sit in some table. I will give the table again. From there, you can see that okay, this confirmation has not done it. I have to maintain the activity type, activity cost here in KP26. Or in cats only, whenever we are confirming through cats will give an error saying that the activity type combination is not maintained for this fiscal year so and so 2015 2016. From this error we can determine, and we will maintaining accordingly, or else the particular project team, I mean the finance team, they will maintain the cost. The rates will be maintained over there in a particular period. See, even in the same in my materials, whenever I'm procuring a materials, my dates, cost, commitments, payments. See, commitments are coming only in my external activities and my materials.
Okay.
External activity, service activity, both are nothing but same. My commitments will be happening here only, not in my internal activities.
Okay.
And the same, the period processing will happens whenever I'm doing my PEC jobs. It will happen from activities to project definition levels.
Got it.
And here I can assign my milestones. What can be the milestones? Milestones can be used for billing purpose. Milestones can be used for my the project progress purpose. Anyway, what kind of milestone I'm going to use it? The same way it will act. It is the same one. It is how the network looks like. And here the system status. What exactly my system status refers to? In project systems, the same way in my maintenance order, system status is a very prominent role. Until and unless I'm going to set my WBS as a release, no activity can be performed. That project is not live yet. Only when I set my status as a release, then only project will start capturing the cost. Then only the project will start working. Till the project is a dead one. SAP has given its own system status, and meanwhile SAP has given a provision where we can set the user status also. User status is the customized one. So where we will be giving, okay, before going for release, I have to do a pre-release, or I have to check whether the budget has been assigned or not. With only these combinations, we can set a release one. Even for user status and system status, the project managers and the person responsible, whoever doing that one, they should have the proper authorization. Then only they can release the projects. See, here how it is. The conjunction is allowed if at least one status allows it and no status prohibits it. It means that suppose I am doing an activity where the cost is reflecting at my level 1 WBS, but I am performing that activity in level 3 WBS. If level 3 WBS is in release status and my level 11 WBS is not only in creator status, if I am going to post it, the system will throw an error. Only if both status are release status, then only I can post the cost.
Got it.
And the same way, my warning message and my error message also. If suppose my activities are not allowed because of the system says that it is still in creative activities or in closed status. Probably you might have come across something in CATS where CATS will show a status call saying that this activity has been in closed status. You cannot book the timing. If you are using CATS in your organization, you might have come across this error saying that time booking is not permitted because the activity is in closed status. Once you close the activity, no cost can be posted on this activity. Did you get it, Prabha?
Yep.
PS documents, milestones, assignments. PS text and documents are nothing but a dummy one, so where it is nothing but comments in my Excel trackers. In my Excel I will be putting as in comments, right? The same way PS texts are there. The documents, I can attach documents to my activities or to my WBS, where the documents will have what is the nature of this WBS and why I'm doing this. If there are any technical specifications, I'm going to draft it in a Word document and I will be attaching the Word document to the particular WBS or to activity.
Okay.
Type of system status. First it will be in creator status, then it will be in release status. Once it has been completed, I am going to set it as a TCO, that is technically completed. Once everything is been done, then I will be set it as a closed status. Once it is closed, then the project is closed. You cannot post anything on closed one.
Okay.
TCO is the only thing is the logistics part has been completed, but financially they can post the things in TCO.
Yeah, they can do the goods receipt and
yes.
Time confirmation. Yep.
But once it is in closed status, you cannot do anything. It is a dead body. TCO is nothing but the person is in coma. This is a little example how the customer projects and how this one. So in customer project C, so I'm going to create a project structure.
Okay.
I'm going to create a sales order. Okay. I'm going to plan my project. Then I have to release my project. See, the first phase is a structuring one.
Okay.
I have only just created a structure. And before going to a second phase, I mean the execution part, I have to release my project. Then only I can do it. Until and unless I release my project, I cannot do anything. And reporting phase will only happens from execution, not before execution. So once it has been done, once execution and everything happens, I'm going to my period end closings, or I'm going to directly close my projects. Before that one, I had to do my RA and do my settlement.
Okay.
So this is how my cost and revenues are consolidated at my WBS elements. So what are all the objects related to my cost? What are all the objects related to my revenues? See, in networks, only the costs are there. My planned hours, my actual hours, my components, and everything. Here we'll be getting only the cost. See here, my project where my revenues and cost both will be captured here. How my COPA is going to get related and how my balance sheets. COPA and balance sheets both are very parallel one. In COPA, I'm going to see only my profitability analysis. But in my balance sheets, I can see my WIP, work in progress, my surplus, my results. Deferred revenue is nothing but a surplus revenue. So this month I might be having my surplus revenue. So this will affect in my further one. So I have already taken the revenue which I have not done the work, which I have not incurred the cost. So next month in this everything will get to know in my RA. So if there are more surplus revenue, that is also not wanted. I mean, it is also very negative to the project. It means that this month I have taken all my revenue, but still I have not incurred the cost. But definitely the cost will be get incurred. I mean, the cost has not captured it. So next month, I mean, in the next very period, the cost will get captured, but there will be no revenue.
Yeah.
These are all the financial things. I mean, even the project systems guys, they will be monitoring these points. So whenever they have a surplus revenue, it is not a positive one, it is a negative one in the near future. This is how we have to study the RA reports. I mean, where exactly we are standing, why we are getting surplus revenue excessively in further consecutive months, and why we have deferred revenues, why we are not billing to the customers, why there are a lot of WBS, I mean WIP, sorry, why there's a work in progress, why it is not billed to the customer.
Okay. Okay. So I'm hoping that you will be spending some time to explain these things, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
As a
I'll be walking you through.
yeah.
As I
Yeah.
told you, it is more, the PS is more into the process part.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
once we know the business, we can relate everything and we can go ahead with the PS. Even SAP is nothing but if you know the T codes, we can navigate it. But we should know the proper business. Then only we can dig more and more and we can explore it.
Correct.
These SPO screenshots just for reference. So that's it for the day. And
Yep.
this is a glimpse of the PS, what we can do in PS and what is the structural hierarchy and everything.
Yep. This is excellent. Funny. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabha. Yeah, Naveen, are you there? Hello, Naveen.
May not be there.
Hello.
Yes.
I will just take you through some sessions first before going into SAP process. I mean, how exactly we do, what's inside the business scenarios, not exactly the business scenarios, the process, the major part of the process.
Yeah.
Before going directly into SAP, I just want to walk you through the process thing. So what are the major terminologies? Yesterday we have seen the glimpse of the terminologies, what is it and how it is. As I told you yesterday, PS basically it is not an standalone module. It is an interdependent module where it come across with the different modules and it is highly integrated with all other modules. Whenever we are using PS, first we should have the business idea, business knowledge. Then we can dig into more and more and we can explore the possibilities in SAP.
Okay.
So I will try to take you through the whatever I thought of and I put something in the slides and then the further slides also. So whatever I have come across and my experience, some theories, whatever I have found and I googled somewhere. So I have just collaborated something. Just I will walk you through this one so that you will have at least some little idea. We will spend some 3 classes or maximum 4 classes on this one.
Okay.
I mean 4 hours, 4 hours of classes on this one. So that in the next part, when we dig into SAP directly, it is very easy for us to take you through, so that you can easily grasp the things.
Yeah. Okay. So, Funny, before you start, will you be sharing this, the deck or, the PDF, with me so that, I can have it as a, the reference?
Yeah, sure, no issues. I will be sharing this with you.
Okay. Thank you, Funny.
Yeah. So just for today classes, again the terminology is what we are going to use in PS and
Okay.
how we are going to do planning in PS. Basically, PS is a project management module. It is a part of PLM, project lifecycle management. It comes under PLM 200, 350, and the PLM. Have you gone through the PLM concepts, Prabha?
Not completely. As I said, I know that, the enterprise, the asset management, it is part of, the PLM. Okay. That's the only, the area I know of.
Okay, PS is completely it is a product of PLM, product lifecycle management.
Okay.
In project management, normally we differ product management and project management as a different classifications.
Hmm.
Project management is a part of a product management. Product management is an holistic view. Suppose to give in a very layman language, suppose I'm constructing, I'm manufacturing a bike. Bike is a product. The entire process comes under the product lifecycle management. It is a product management. But in the manufacturing of a bike, we will be having a lot of stages. Normally, whenever we are manufacturing or we are constructing anything, the entire holistic part cannot be taken as a project, because it is very difficult to monitor and also it is very difficult to capture the things. So what exactly the team will do, it will divide the product management into different phases.
Okay.
Suppose alignment of manufacturing of the tube tires itself is a project. Manufacturing of an engine itself is a project. And the manufacturing of the other circuits, whatever it is required for the manufacturing of a bike itself is a different phase or a project. So the collaboration of all these projects and these projects are interlinked. Ultimately, it will be delivering a product. So we have multiple projects which are in link. Ultimately, it is giving us a very beautiful product out. So whenever we are dealing with a project, we have to make sure that the deliverables of this project are being linked to other projects. We need to understand that
Okay.
in process. Then only we can deliver anything in a very smooth way and in a timely bound manners. So we may not understand when you are working on some X project, we may not understand the other possibilities, whether it is interdependent or it was a predecessor of the other project, or are there any success projects are there behind this one, and how exactly the projects are going to be lead. We will be not having any idea whenever we're doing the projects. But a project management team should have a proper idea whether this project is being interlinked to other projects or not, whether this project is a part of a product lifecycle management or itself is only project lifecycle management. So there are two differences. First, we need to understand clearly. One is the product lifecycle management, another is the project lifecycle management.
Okay.
Project is a subsidiary of a product. Okay. In this one, now the planning aspects, why I'm emphasizing more on this one is, normally people generally neglect the planning phases. They don't give much weightage to the planning. Always they go with the cost, budget, and everything. I'm just giving a glimpse of why the planning aspects. Planning in terms of a time. Even your cost planning also comes under planning. I'm emphasizing more on planning in terms of time. Why it is so important and how it has been interlinked to other things. How it will affect the ultimate product delivery.
Okay.
So when my project planning comes into picture, where exactly I'm going to do my project planning? I'm going to do my project planning in project planning board in SAP. Okay.
Okay.
So in this one, what all things comes? The first one is my scheduling. How I'm going to schedule my project phases. Even again in project, I will be having lot of tasks, n number of tasks. These tasks are being interlinked and interrelated to each other. How I'm going to schedule these tasks? As yesterday I have taken you through I have just given a glimpse of the part. So how exactly the relationships being established between the task, the activities. How I'm going to establish my relationship, whether it is in start to start to finish, finish to start. There are four types of relationship in scheduling. So how exactly it is being interlinked between the activities. Suppose today I am going to close my activity. So soon after this closing activity, one more activity will get started. Just like in a very layman language, I can tell you like this. Once I get vegetables from the market, then only I can cook the meals. Till then, I will not able to cook my food. So these two activities are interdependent. Here it is the relation existing between here is finish to start. Once I get my vegetables, then only I can start my cooking. It is finished to start. And some activities we can do it parallelly. Suppose cleaning of utensils. Before getting the vegetables only, I can clean my utensils. So it is an parallel activity. It is start to start. So like this, there are four types of relationships existing between the task. So where we have to link those, that comes under scheduling. Another one comes is resource planning. Resource planning is nothing but a capacity requirement planning. So how exactly we are going to plan my resources, either the machinery or the manpower. In project management, there is no differences between the machinery and the manpower. Even we will have the work centers for machineries, work center for manpower, cost centers for machineries, cost center for manpower. We will treat manpower and machineries both as the same. And both units will be covered under hours per hour unit. And the same KP26 data will be maintained for both. So that enter comes under planning. Another one is the materials requirement planning, MRP. You might be knowing already what is MRP and how we'll do it. What is material requirement planning, what we do. This part majorly comes into PP, production planning. As again, why it has come to PS is, normally the PPs are, production orders are being interlinked to my internal activities, where that will trigger the production orders, internal orders, and further MRP will get generated. If the certain materials are available, then ultimately it will go for production. If materials are not available, materials are not in the stock, then PR will get generated, materials PO, and again same GR, GI, and everything will happens. This is the process. And the next part is my cost and revenue planning. So ultimately, everybody, they are just look after the cost. Even SAP is very success in the market because SAP captures the cost, time, and your resources planning both ultimately in a single platform. That is why. That is the reason SAP is so successful in the market as of date. So how I'm going to do plan my cost and revenue. Suppose my activity has so much of cost. This activity has 10 material components and it is being linked with the three resources of so and so activity type with they're linked to the this particular work center and they have suppose 500 hours of duration. Okay, then what is the remaining order value plan? Okay, this much. This is my commitments. This all comes under the cost. Ultimately, the cost will go and sit in the parent WBS. Parent WBS2 again its parent WBS. Ultimately, when it gets settled, it will get settled to my FI components, either to GL or cost elements or anything or any cost centers, whatever it is, whatever the management decides to settle it, there it will go and settle. And ultimately, my revenue plan also. How I'm planning my revenue here. So, which WBS is a revenue generating WBS? I will be deciding that one. So whether I am selling my services, okay, how many hours have been captured here? Okay, that will be I will be capturing my internal activities through my personal assignment tab. So I will be capturing the hours recorded for this particular activity. Ultimately, I'm going to sell these hours to my client through RRB scenario.
Okay.
This is my revenue planning and budgeting. Once I done my cost planning, I will be taking it through my management and management will be approving those cost estimations. They will be giving me this much of budget. Okay, you are saying that you will be completing this task by $200. Okay, I can approve you $195. $195 is the budget. You have to complete this task within $195. Fine. Or else management come up saying that $200 is a very little for this one. You have to, it will go up to $250. You go, since you have told me the $200, I am approving you for $220. You have to complete this task by $220. Whatever the management decisions that one, again the budgeting will be done. Budgeting will be done in CJ 30, 31, 32. These are the T codes for the budgeting. I will be saying you those 30 codes also, no issues. I'm just giving you the names. So once I'm done the budgeting, I have to release the budget. Then only budgets will be allocated to my WBS. Till I did not release my budget, budget will not be allocated to my WBS. This we need to remember with very underlined remarks. Till we do not release the budget, budget will not be assigned to my WBS. And we have the tolerances. Once we exceed the budgets, if we have tolerance activated in my system, then system will not allow you to perform any further task. It will not allow you to post any more tasks on this WBS. It will stop you. So normally how I'm going to do is whenever I have activities under my WBS, all my plannings, all my cost plannings or my date plannings will be accumulated to my parent WBS. As I told you yesterday, my cost of the activity is being accumulated along with the cost of the WBS or WBS only. WBS is a bucket where it captures all the cost of its child WBSs and child networks and activities. So what exactly the planning means here? Planning comes with everything, the dates, my payments, my materials, my cost, my revenues, my resources, and also how I'm going to plan it. I mean, how I'm going to structure my project. How many level of WBS I'm going to create and how many activities I'm going to add to my WBS. So even I'm going to calculate the relationship between my cost and revenues. So when so and so costs are incurred, how much revenue I'm going to get on this task? Suppose this WBS is capturing a cost of $100, so my revenue should be at least $120. $100 is my direct expenses. So even including my indirect expenses and my tax components and my profitability components, everything, it should be minimum $120. Then only my project will be in healthy status. Else in my RA, it will show as boss you're in loss.
Okay. So the rules are maintained at the WBS, the level to do the revenue planning as well, is it?
Yeah, revenue planning, that's what even we have an option of doing the revenue planning here. So whenever then on how exactly we are going to determine this product will be sold at this much of cost? It's mainly on this factor only. How much cost I'm going to incur and how much profit I'm supposed to get it on this one.
Okay.
And even in RRB also, how exactly we are going to execute my RRB scenarios. In the profile, I will be having some factors on this particular kind of service materials. Suppose I'm using X service materials, I will be defining the cost of X service materials in my deep profile. And obviously in KP26, the per hour rate should be less than my deep profile rates. Then only my project will be in healthy status. If my in KP26 my per hour rates are more than the rates in deep profile, ultimately it is saying that my execution cost is more, but my selling cost is less. Again, it is a marketing factors. How exactly if they want to sell, if they want to establish a market, management will do that way. I'm telling you the just engineering part. I mean, how exactly we're going to calculate the things.
Okay.
So how exactly all is going to be integrated? Everything will be integrated in my project planning board. So where I'm going to structure the project, where I'm going to plan my things, where all my WBS activities and material components, my milestones, everything being related and interlinked. In a single screen, everything we are going to see over there. So here, so what exactly I'm going to do in my project planning board? Normally we do the project definitions. I mean, project definitions is a topmost hierarchy level. So under those, I will be having WBS elements, activities, and I will be establishing the relationships between the activities, and I will be assigning milestones to the activities or to the WBS, both. Milestones can be assigned to WBS and also to the activities. Even the materials also. Material components can be assigned directly to WBS or to activities also. And documents and PS text, as I told you, PS text are nothing but comments. How we put in my Excel in I'm going to put my comments, insert comments. The same way PS text are nothing but a comments. Technically, it has no value. I mean, it will not reflect any of your reports or anyway, it will not reflect any of your financial or time reportings. It is only a comment, it is only text, and same as the documents. I will be attaching the Word documents to my WBS or my activities. You may describe it anything, even you can do your technical specifications, or you just want to give some notes to the end user who are executing the project. So you're just giving him some what are the steps need to be followed and how it is. Whatever the information you want to share, you can share it through by attaching the documents over there. And planning dates and resources. So what exactly my resources are here? Even nothing but my manpower and my machinery. So how much they will be costing, what kind of machinery I'm going to use, to which work center this belongs to, whether this work center belongs to this company code or not. Normally work centers belongs to plants and plants belongs to company codes. This is the way integrated in SAP. So which work center resource I'm utilizing it here? Whether this work center resources can I utilize it here or not? How I'm going to establish a relationship? Through work centers are being assigned under plants. Plants are being assigned to company codes. If we assign any work centers that does not belongs to my company code, company codes, plans, and every company codes will be defined in my control tab. Yesterday I have shown you some tabs, right? So there you will be seeing lot of organizational values like company code, whatever it is. Even the parent company code, parent organizational values will be automatically flown to the child one. If I'm using the work center which does not have anything to do with this company code, then system will not allow you to save it. System will throw an error. The combination is not perfect, something like this. Once I've done everything with this one, my cost planning using the activities. Suppose I have the list of I have beautifully structured my project with WBS under this one networks and to this activities, and activities are properly activities nothing but the task. My tasks are properly drilled down and material components are being assigned to particular task. whether it is in my task, maybe the internal activity, external activity, service activity, or cost activity. To my external activity, to internal activity, I can assign my materials. To my service activity, I am going to procure the services externally. External activity, I am going to procure my materials externally. In internal activity, I am producing the goods within this one, and I am taking the services within my resources, the resources which are in my payroll. So this is just some GAN on how exactly we are going to navigate in planning board. This I will take you through once we are up in SAP system.
Yep.
So this something you need to be familiarized with. It is nothing. If you've seen in Microsoft, the same kind of icons will be using in Microsoft. The same icons have been used in SAP PS also, especially in project planning board. The same icons.
Okay.
That's why even you can see you can filter the things, and you can group it, you can sort it, you can do everything. Even simply telling, my project planning board is an upgraded version of my Excel.
Got it.
So where I will be doing my costing and everything, right? The same way, whatever I'm doing in Excel, we can do the same in a very in tick method with a SAP graphical user interface, and which have authorization prohibitions. Time scheduling, what exactly I'm going to do time? Why time? Why time is so important? We project management professionals, we measure everything in time. Time is an important unit for us. Money is never an important unit for us, because normally everything will be calculated through time. Obviously, when the management invests so much and they wanted to look everything in terms of cost or money, normally everything will be treated in terms of time. Time is a very important unit. Even in the project management triangle, if we look at the quality, time, resources, and everything are interdependent. If I compromise any one side of the triangle, my quality will going to be get affected. If I have to increase my time, I'm going to short down my resources. If I have to decrease my time, I have to increase my resources, so that my quality of the product should not get affected. Right?
Yep.
So how I'm going to do my time scheduling? I'm going to do my time scheduling through activities. If you ask me why can't we do it through WBS, yes, we can do it through WBS also, but we cannot establish relationship between the WBS. We can establish the relationship between only the activities. And hence, whenever we are doing a proper scheduling and proper cost planning or anything, we should have the activities. Then only we can use a system to the maximum level. Else, if you are using at WBS level only, then yes, we are going to capture it manually. We are not using the system to the extent.
Got it.
And same way, whenever I'm assigning materials to this one, automatically my system determines my material execution dates. I mean, when I'm going to procure my materials, when I should get this one, automatically it will get that, it will take the dates from its activities only.
And the dates at the the activity level, it's planned the manually based on the project the scope of the work, is it?
So Prabha, can you please be louder?
Yeah. What I was asking, the dates at the activity the level are planned the manually, is it?
Yes, yes. Even system
Okay.
will automatically, it will take the dates from your project definition. It will be taking on, it will be accumulating it, and
Okay.
you can change it manually also. Like in
Okay.
MSP,
Yeah.
if we go in MSP and if we keep on adding the activities under my tasks, So it will keep on populating the dates, automatic dates,
Got it.
where
Okay.
I can go and edit the dates myself.
Okay. Okay. Based on the dependency, right?
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay. Okay.
So if you see here my project, in project definition, these are only basic dates are there. Basic
Can you?
dates are nothing but,
Okay. Go ahead.
yeah, in a project definition, I can have only my basic dates. I cannot do anything on this one. But in my WBS elements, my basic dates, my forecast dates, my schedule dates, and my actual dates. See again here the four types of dates are come here. Basic dates are nothing but, I'm sorry. Basic dates are nothing but whenever I am creating a project or anything, so then obviously the dates will come up. It will get populated. So whenever I'm creating a project, it will ask me whether today's dates need to be taken. I will ask the start date and end date. Whatever the dates I'm giving when the creation of a project, those are the basic dates. In WBS
Okay.
elements, we have the four options. My basic dates, what I have given during the creation of a project, and my forecast dates, how I'm going to forecast my dates, and my schedule dates. I'm going to schedule it periodically, right? Every time I will be coming and I will be changing my schedule dates. My planning will be changing each and every day. I will be scheduling the dates and my actual dates when exactly my confirmations are taken place. So whenever you will be confirming it, those are nothing but the actual dates. I will be doing confirmations, right? Like in
Yep.
CATs, I will be booking my timings. So whenever I book my timings in CATs, those are nothing but the confirmations. Those are the actual dates.
Okay.
See, in network, what exactly you are missing here? You are missing the forecast dates. You cannot forecast in network headers. As I told you, network headers are dummy ones. It is a collection of activities. And how exactly the dates are followed here? The dates come up through activities. So whatever the dates I'm mentioning in my activities, those dates will be followed in my networks. Are the dates are non-editable networks? No. Dates can be editable in networks. We can edit the dates in networks. Yes. We can directly edit the dates in networks so that the editable dates will be drilled down to my activities. See, system is giving us a very flexible options here. We can edit the dates in my activities. Whenever I do edit the dates in the activities, the same dates will be flown to the network headers. It is the bottom to
Okay.
top.
Okay.
In the same way, whenever I do edit the dates in my network headers, and the same dates will be flown down to my activities also. It is top to bottom. It is called two types of scheduling. One is forward scheduling, and the one is a backward scheduling. And people also say that there is no scheduling. It is also a type of scheduling.
Okay.
It is nothing but it is an interview questions. It is no way you need to bother about. If people want to play with you, they can ask you very tricky questions in interviews. So how many kinds of scheduling, forward scheduling, backward scheduling, no scheduling, why no scheduling and all. There are some just want to, if they want to rag you, they can take you on this one.
Okay.
So in my network address, what else we can do? Now here, in my network, in my WS and project definitions, nowhere I am having earliest start dates and latest start dates. Only in my activities, I have these things. Why we do require these ones? Latest start dates, early finish date, early start date, early finish date, latest start date, latest finish date. Why we will be requiring this? Do you have any idea on this one, Prabha?
I mean, I'm coming from, whenever, we create, the MSP, each, the task, based on the, the dependency or, the something, the needed to be, the start on a specific, the day, right? In that case, we would, the marking it as the, this is the, the date, this can, the start, or, this is the date, latest by which this task, the needs to be, the started.
Yes, yes, exactly. It is called nothing but the floats. What is the float I'm having between early start and late start?
Okay.
So what time I can delay my activity? What is the maximum time I can delay my activity so that ultimately my project phase will get finished at my estimated time, so that it will not affect further task.
Okay.
It will help us determine the critical path. Again, it is a pure project management terminologies. It comes in PERT and CPM. As I told you, PS completely works on PERT and CPM, which is a part of operation management.
Okay.
So here what exactly I'm doing is, why I need to calculate my floats? Because so whenever my this task get delayed, obviously the dependent task will get disturbed.
Correct.
So I need to calculate the time float where I can have the flexibility so that I can play within the time and make sure that I will take back my project back to the track. In this way, I'm going to calculate my critical path. Critical path is the where the float is 0. I mean, this activity should start on this date. There is a 0% delay. And it should get finished on this date.
Got it.
Which are all the activities comes under this path, this comes as a critical path. I mean, whenever those activities will get started, we have to make sure that as a project management professional, this activity should get complete, and we have to start on the same date. If there are any little disturbances on this particular path, then the entire project will get collapsed in time.
Okay. Yep.
In time factor. Why the basic date types? One is the basic dates, that is fixed dates which you enter manually in network or WBS element. You can use basic dates in scheduling as a framework for activity dates. This is only framework. This was I told you now. Whenever I'm creating a project definition, system will be asking me what is the start date and what is the end date, or else give me the duration. Give me the start date or duration. Give me the end date or duration, or give me start date and end date. Any of the combination.
Okay. Funny, one question. I understand, that we are talking about the, the planning, the aspects of the, the project, right? But in the previous, the slide, we had this, the network, the element. One is, the network header, and the next one was, the network activity. The last one was, the net activity, the element. Okay.
Activity element.
If you don't mind, can you, I understand, what is the network activity. Is this activity element is, the same as, the network activity or something different?
It is the same as network activity. There is no difference in this one. Technically, you will not find any differences in activity element and network activity. Like yesterday I told you, WBS and WBS elements, both are one and same. In the same way, activity element and network activity both are same. Just to differentiate the things, I mean the baby activities, the child activities.
Okay.
Even
Okay.
in the activity elements also, the same. What are all my internal activities, external activities, service activity, and cost activity. Only there are 4 types of activities. This network activity and activity element both are one and the same.
Okay.
It is only just to determine here. Even if you see the graph, how exactly it has been established, it is being under reporting to an activity. These activity elements are reporting to an activity.
Okay.
These are the activity elements. These are reporting to an activity.
Okay.
It is nothing but an 4-5 engineers working under a team leader.
Got it.
Team leader is also an engineer, but he got a little more experience than the engineers, associates. So who are working under him, those will be reporting to the team leader, and all the team leaders will be reporting to an module lead or manager, delivery manager, and delivery managers will be reporting to project account leads the same way.
I understand. Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry. So what are my forecast dates? Forecast dates are nothing but my expected dates. So I'm forecasting it. I'm scheduling. I'm forecasting so that okay, on this date it should get start and on this date it will get complete. These are my forecast dates. Normally forecast dates everybody will give little importance. Now everyone is they basically schedule the dates and they do the scheduling. Because every time in forecast dates what it is, every day, every hour we need to monitor it, we need to forecast the things. Which are very time bound projects, they will be using the forecast dates. Got it, Prabha?
Yep.
Yeah, and my schedule dates. What exactly I'm going to do my schedule dates? I will be doing my scheduling part. Scheduling in terms of establishing relationship, and so you may find difficulty here. What is the difference between the forecast date and scheduling dates? Right?
So scheduling dates, let's say, that you have built, the project with, the different, the WBS, and then, the network, the header and the activities. So at the, the activity, the level, you would be, specifying the actual, the time frame you're going to take to complete, each, the activities, right? And also, you would have defined the relationship between the activities. Is it going to be the start, finish, or start, finish, or finish to start? That way, the system, will then, give you the, the total, the schedule, right? Depending based on the, the dependencies and the, the total time assigned to, the each, the activities. But the, the forecast, the date is something it's manually, the entered at the, the activity and, the WBS, the level. Is my understanding correct?
Yes, exactly, Prabha. You are on the right path. Yes,
Okay.
exactly. Scheduling is nothing but we will be establishing relationships between the activities. Meanwhile, we will be doing it manual entries only. We will be doing it manually. We will be scheduling the things. But once we establish a relationship, as I told you, once I change the dates in my activities, automatically it will get changed in other activities also.
Got it. And the
Because
forecast, the
a
dates.
relationship,
Go ahead.
yes,
Go ahead.
relationship is being established between the activities, between the networks.
Okay. And when you say, the forecast, the dates, I understand, manually, the maintained at the, the network or, the WBS, the level. So you manually, the maintain, the what would be the start time and, the end time, for that particular, the network header or, the WBS, the element, is it?
Yes, exactly. Even when you change any forecast date in any of the network, it will not affect the further uh, established networks. I mean, the depending networks.
Okay.
There's the only difference between the scheduled dates and the forecast dates.
Okay.
And the actual dates. Actual dates are nothing but whenever we do the confirmations, the confirmation dates are nothing but my actual dates.
Got it.
Suppose I'm entering my service entry sheet. I'm confirming those activities done by my service vendor. Those are my confirmation. Those are my actual dates. Today I am booking my timesheet in my CATs. Those are my actual dates. And I have done my GI, goods issue. Today is my confirmation. Today is my actual date.
Okay. Funny one question. So obviously, there will be there could be a case where the partial the confirmation could be done, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
So
Partial
if
confirmations are
that
there.
yeah, if that is the case, the final confirmation date will be considered as the actual the date, is it?
Yes, exactly. So every
Okay,
time you do the confirmations, the actual dates will get overlap.
okay, okay, okay.
So today, even in my timesheet also, so total for this particular internal activity in CATS, I will be using my internal, I mean network and the activity number. Suppose 9000516 010. You will be booking your time like this, right? In CATS.
Yeah, yep.
Yes. I even for this one, that 010 is nothing but a task. There is nothing but an your activity. 9010555, there is nothing but a network. And you are using network activity in your CATS. Or else your sales order can be used in your CATS also. In sales order also, you will be using 405555 something and the item number 020. There's nothing but a task. You can book your time to your sales order or to my network activities or to the WBS or even to my plant maintenance order or directly to call center. Anywhere I can book my timings. So whenever I book my time, I will not be booking the entire plant timings. Suppose for this task, I have established the time of 500 hours. I will not be booking the 500 hours in a single day. So I will be doing it today, this week, 40 hours. Whenever I confirm my timing, 40 hours on day 1, it is 8 hours. It's a perfect confirmation. On day 2, 8 hours. Day 3, 8 hours. Day 4, 8 hours. Day 5, 8 hours. Ultimately 40 hours. But 40 hours you booked in a different dates. Though you are booking for today, you might have booked your timesheet for the last week. So whatever the time you have booked, I mean last week is your confirmation date. So partially it will be get confirmed on the last day of the week. That is last Friday. Whenever you book your times, it will get, I mean, the old confirmation dates will get wiped off or new confirmation dates will come. That's nothing but an actual dates.
Got it.
Once you finish your 500 hours, ultimately, whenever you're confirming the activity, then you will be putting in a TICO and the same close status and everything. The actual dates will get, ultimately, it get freeze off. Got it, Prabha?
Yes.
So how I'm going to schedule my scheduling parameters for my WBS. So here you see in the scheduling type, here they are doing the backward scheduling. If you see in the screenshot, it's the backward scheduling. There are two types of scheduling basically, forward scheduling and the backward scheduling. And how exactly my scheduling it will determine from network dates.
Okay.
You see on the description in the below, top-down planning. I will be planning the dates from the highest WBS elements. So where my dates will be followed to my last activities. And my bottom-up planning. So where I will be planning my dates in my activities and the same dates will be flown to my first WBS. I mean my parent, supermost superior WBS.
Okay. So funny question here. So when you say top down, the planning, so the dates, they will be, the calculated based on the start date assigned to the topmost, the WBS, the element, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. We always refer to the, the start date, right? Here.
Yes,
And then in the,
we can refer to the start date or also we can refer to the finish date. So how exactly we're going to give it. When we're doing it from top down planning, even in top down also, whenever we give it as a start date, then that start date will be taken as my starting point. I mean the first date, and on my lag or else my duration of the task, it will get determine the finish dates of this particular task. And through the relationship, whatever I have the relationship I have given in the entire project structure, through that relationship, the dates will get automatically calculated and it will get scheduled.
Okay.
So this is how my scheduling normally they're interrelated. See, the green one shows the early start and early finish, and the red one shows the my latest start and latest finish.
Okay.
And ultimately, what is my latest finish is, if you see at the topmost, bottommost the task, this is my latest finish of my this particular project or the task. How they are being interdependent. If my first activity get delays, the next activity, so which is starting from which are supposed to start, there are everything is finish to start and start to finish, and there's a time lag also. They have given everything, the relationship has been established here. Accordingly, the it will get start. Even if you see there is a time lag, once it get finished, the next activity started a bit delayed.
Got it.
We are going to establish these relationships in my activity steps, and the same relationship accordingly it will get populated. See, everything, how I'm going to determine this, everything I'm going to determine this in my project profiles. In my project profile, I will be adding my planning profile and my budget profile. So everything will be determined in my SPRO settings, in my configuration part. How exactly I want to do my scheduling in this particular project profile. What will be my planning method? I can have all this kind of stints with me. Did you get it, Prabha? Are you following?
Yeah, yeah.
See, this is how the screen refers to. So how exactly I'm going to do my scheduling? Top down or bottom down? Bottom up. If it is a top down, how exactly it will be?
Okay.
The dates of scheduling are passed on from the project definition to the WBS elements and to the activities. Data of the activities must be written with the dates of the WBS to which they are assigned. So everything, whatever we have discussed so far, I have given it in the presentation. I will be sharing you this presentation. You can just go through. You can make it as a ready document for your any further references.
Thank you, Funny. So
So when
the
we go for
dates
the
of
bottom
the
up scheduling, yeah, please.
okay, just a question. The date, if you don't mind, can you go back to the previous slide? You have mentioned that the dates of the the activities must be within the no the next one, I think. Yeah, the dates of the activities must be within the dates of the WBS the element to which they are assigned.
Yes,
So
it means that let me give an example. My activities belongs to WBS.
correct.
In one way, I'm telling that my WBS should get complete by next week. What does
But
it mean?
the we it's depends on the the if we do the top down the approach, okay, um, and in the top down approach we would be specifying the obviously the start date, right? Earliest the start date, or the latest the start date. And also at the the WBS even if it is a top down approach, would we be maintaining the earliest finish date, or the latest the finish date at the the WBS level? If it is maintained, then obviously the activities should also be the completed within the earliest, or the latest the end date of the
See
WBS,
here,
right?
here even if you go to previous slides, I have told you that even we can network activity, I can change my dates here,
Correct.
right? Though
Yes.
I'm using top-down method, I can, system has given a provision to change my dates in task also, in activities also. So
If
it
we
is up
change it,
to us,
okay.
whenever using our top to bottom, top-down scheduling. So we have to make sure that the dates what we have given in my WBS, started and finish date, it should be realistic date. We have to make sure the tasks which are assigned under the WBS will get finished within the dates I have given, finish dates I have given in my WBS or not.
Okay.
Or else if we have given a very constrained dates here, my activities will get busted.
Okay.
So I here it means that I am squeezing the things. So
Yep.
whenever I am giving the top-down approach, it is an Hitler rule. Like our boss will come and says that you have to finish this task by tomorrow. I don't know how we're going to do it. Then how exactly the scenario will be?
Yep. I
I'm going
understand.
to my boss. I'm going to my boss and I'm telling him that, sir, this will get complete by next week. This is bottom to top approach. Then my boss will come up me and saying that no, you have to finish this task by tomorrow only. This is a time constraint, right?
Yep.
The same when I hear this explained. Whenever we're doing a top-down scheduling, we have to ensure that the dates, the finish dates, whatever we are giving in the WBS, should not constrain my below activities finish dates. So normally, generally, what we do is we almost go with the bottom-up scheduling only. Top-down, very rarely, whenever we have very constrained one, then we go with the top-down scheduling.
Okay. If that is the case, they need to ensure that the activities are completed, within the, the constrained date entered at the WBS, the level.
Yes, yes, yes. Even system make sure that you will be finishing the task within the stipulated time.
Okay. Okay. Even, if we give a lengthy, the time duration, for the, the activity.
Hmm. Even you can go in the project planning board where you can see your Gantt chart. So where you can say that okay, this activity is skewed very much. It is not all possible to close this activity in this stipulated time. Where you can see. Even in SAP PS in CA20N T code, you can have the Gantt chart, you can have the project planning board, you can see the PERT, you can see the CPM also.
Okay.
You can have the graphical I mean what you call graphical page also where you can see the entire things.
Got it.
See, in scheduling, normally top-down and bottom-up scheduling is done using WBS elements. Forward and backward scheduling are always carried out using activities and relationships. Relationships can be established only in my activities, not in my WBS. That
Okay.
we need to remember. That we need to remember. Why activities are so important for us? Activities are the very least components where I can capture my cost, and activities are very useful to do the schedulings. Why? Because we can establish a relationship between the activities, not for the WBS. On my earliest start and latest finish dates, latest start, latest finish dates, everything will be calculated in activities only, not in WBS. Why not in
Okay.
WBS? Why not in WBS, Prabha? Why I cannot calculate my ES and FS, early
Because
starts and later starts?
relationships are, the maintained only at the, the activity, the level, not at the WBS level.
Sure, exactly.
Yeah,
This is the beauty of my activities.
yeah,
That is why whenever I am using activities in my project systems, in my project structure, then we can have beautiful reports. If I don't
okay,
have activities, I am making sure that I am using prayers as nothing but a tally. There will be no differences between the tally and PS if I am not using the activities.
okay.
So I can trigger an scheduling from network or from WBS, from both. So the float, what exactly the float
Yeah,
means?
yeah.
Float is nothing but an,
Funny.
sorry,
Can
you're
I
asking something.
just
Go ahead.
1 minute? 1 minute. Okay. I'm sorry, funny. Kids are
No
still
issues, no
awake
issues.
and they were knocking the door. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no issues, no issues. Okay, what is a float? Float is nothing but the time differences, the time, the excess time what I have for the early, latest start to early start. That is a float. So again, in float there are two types of, there are actually three types of float. One is total float, free float, and independent float. Independent float in SAP we are not using it, but as
What is
per in
the
the
third?
project management, independent
What's the,
float.
okay, okay,
We are not using it in SAP. So
okay.
you need not to think more about independent float and all. So what exactly the float here is? The float determines. Sorry. Here the float determines how exactly I'm going to delay my project. So what is the flexibility I have in my project? You see, even in the screenshots, there are two types of floats. One is total float, one is a free float. What is total
Okay,
float? The difference between the earlier start and late start of the same activity is called the total
okay,
float.
okay.
And what is a free float? Free float is my differences between the earliest finish of the activity to the latest start, early start of my succeeding activity.
Understand.
Whenever the free float is zero, whenever the free float is zero, it means that the path is a critical path. It is a critical activity.
Got it.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So whenever I have the free float as a zero, there is a very critical path. and we need to concentrate more on those activities.
Got it.
So here I am showing it just it is a part one. Even we can see this part in SAP PS also in CA20NT code. Once I established my structure activities, then I can see this flow chart also.
Okay.
So here comes my activities now. So what are the activities? What I can do in different activities? So as I was giving you the more and more examples of in internal activities, what is my capacities? What exactly how I'm going to do it? What is those capacities should belongs to a proper work center. All the KP26 data should be maintained. Everything will be there. Yes, same on how what is my number of capacities I'm using and what is the number of hours I placed in my internal activities. And external activities and service activities both are one and same. The only difference is if I'm procuring the services externally from the external vendors, I will be using my service activities. Or if I'm procuring materials from external vendors, then I will be using my external activities.
Got it.
In my external activities, I will be doing once I procure the materials, goods receipt will be happening, and goods issue will be done internally to either to my productions or to the customers directly. Else in the services, if I have procured the services externally from the vendors, I will be preparing
Service entry sheet.
service entry sheet. Yes, exactly. It's even in MM also we'll be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Service entry sheet will be prepared, and once we done the service entry sheet, that is nothing but a confirmations.
Okay.
So in my external procurement may be the equipment or the services. Equipment is nothing but maybe the material or whatever it is. Even it comes with the material and also my machinery also. So what are all the inputs I'm supposed to give it here is first thing is my purchase organization. So what is the purchase organization? I'm procuring the materials, and which purchase group it should involve. And again the material group is nothing but what kind of material I'm going to get it, this quantity, unit price and everything, how much quantity, how much material and whatever it is good. The main important thing is my purchase organization, my purchase group. This will determine my MRP also. Even in my material requirement planning also, this one, the material availability report also, this will get determined. Suppose whenever I'm creating an activities and I will be assigning an material components to my activities, once I releasing my projects, system will ask us how exactly we want to do it. Because some materials may be very critical, before releasing only I should have my materials, because once I release my project I should have materials in hand to me.
Okay. So in that case,
System will
there is
not
a
let you to release the project, I mean the particular WBS. It's a minimum stock maintenance should be there
okay. Okay.
in the material availability. So that time what we will do, we will ask them team to maintain the minimum stock in the particular plant. Then they will raise their POs and they will procure the materials and they will have the minimum stock in their plants of the particular material type.
Okay.
So how exactly it is going to determine whether my activities are internal activities, external activities or service activities or it is a cost activities? It will be determined through control key.
Okay.
Control key is the one which determines whether this activity is an internal activity or external activity or service activity or cost activity. I will show you what exactly the control key and how we are going to change the control key.
Okay.
Because only the control keys will enable us the tabs. Whenever the tabs comes up with saying that the work center, plant and everything, then it is an internal activity. Because work center is our internal object. It is not for the external vendors. It is only for the internal ones. So whenever I'm coming up with saying that purchase organization, purchase group and all, these are the external and service activities. Because in my internal activity, I will not be using these. In my internal activity, I'm more concerned about my capacity plannings. And my cost activity is nothing but my planned activities. Only for my capturing the external cost. See, in my external process activities, nothing but it is entire my cycle. I'm going to release the purchase orders. First, I will be doing my PRs, purchase requisitions. So once purchase requisitions and purchase orders get generated is nothing but my commitment value. Once I done my GR or GI, then only actual cost will get populated. Till then, it will be treated as a commitment cost only.
Okay. So commitments are included in the the actuals or under the the planned.
Commitments are include. It is a part of commitments. My this is how it is. My plan costs are entirely different. Commitments are pre-actual cost, which are
Okay.
supposed to get converted into actuals.
Okay.
Like this. I will be giving an example like this. So I will be getting my salary today. Still, I have not spent my salary, but I will be taking some part of my salary as an mandatory expenses, like paying my house rent, paying my credit card bills, paying my utility bills. These are all my commitments. This I have to pay, but yet I have not paid it. Right?
Yep.
So these are the commitments. My credit card
Okay.
bills, my utility bills, my house rent bills, everything I am supposed to pay it. But today, as of now, I have not paid it. But yes, this comes under the commitments. But tomorrow I'm going to pay it for definitely. So that this
Okay.
amount will not be utilized further. I mean, I'm taking a part of salary to these accounts.
So once we make the the actual let's say that we are raising a the purchase requisition and the purchase order value of the let's say the $100. So this is a commitment of the $100. But when we do the invoice receipt for this the purchase order, let's say that is of the $90 value, the $100 is the taken out, the commitment amount. Instead, the $90 is the booked as a actual the cost.
No, till vendor payment, I'm not going to. In PS, we are least bothered about the vendor payment. Invoice and
Okay.
all, we are least bothered. In in finance, in AP, and in finance, yes, they wait till invoice and all. But in PS, we will not wait till invoice and this one. So we will wait till only goods receipt and goods issue.
Okay.
But if it is a non-stock item, once it is a goods receipt has been done, it will convert into actuals.
Okay. But okay, go ahead. Yeah. I was just the wondering at the the goods receipt the level, you would know only the the quantity, right? I mean the obviously you can extrapolate the the cost based on the the purchase the price, but there is all the more the possibility of the getting a different the invoice at a later stage, right?
Yes, invoice will be getting at a later stage because I may pay to the vendor today itself or maybe a year later. It is entirely a financial transaction.
Okay.
So I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered about the payment right now because I am a project management professional. I'm not bothered about the financial activities. I can only suggest the management what I have consumed as of now.
Okay.
Are you getting the difference here?
Yeah, I understand. So in this case, let's say, my commitment was, the $100, right? That is for, the 10 units. And then I have, the completed the, the goods receipt for, the 10 units. Okay. Then
Hmm.
my commitment is, the zeroed out, and, the actual cost is, the increased with the, the goods receipt value. Here in this case,
Yes.
it's again, the $100. Is it?
Yes. Exactly. If it is
Okay.
in project stock one, it is in stock items. Till GI, it will not get populated. Only once GI happens, then only it will get populated.
When you say GI,
Goods
let's
issue.
say,
Goods issue for the production order or directly delivery from projects.
okay. And up until that point, it would still be there, even though, I've completed the goods receipt, from the vendor, but not
Hmm.
at, the issue to the customer or to the, the production order. This cost, would be shown as a, the commitment only, is it?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
It is a very thin line between the commitment and actuals that we need to understand very properly. Even my commitment cost, it will get consumed, it will consumes my budget
Yes.
because I have given you my very layman experience. Though I have the amount in my hand, my salary amount in my hand, I have a commitment of paying my credit card bills. I cannot utilize this money to anything else. I have to pay my credit card bills. This is a commitment. Got it?
Yep.
General cost activity. General cost activity is nothing but my miscellaneous expenses, my overhead expenses, like my traveling cost or my sundry expenses, or everything will be captured under general cost activities. Suppose clients visits, clients will be visiting my project and I will be treating them. I will be taking them for a lunch, but I have to accommodate that cost in my project. Where I'm going to capture this cost, I'm going to capture this cost in my general activities, sorry, and my travel expenses. Whenever I will be traveling for the project purpose, I have to capture it, right, in my travel expenses. So how exactly it will be done? Have you heard about the Concur?
Yeah, travel expenses module, right?
Yes, it is travel expense module. Recently, it has been acquired by SAP. Concur earlierly it was an independent ERP tool.
Okay, okay,
Very recently, last year, I guess 2015, yeah, 2014, and it was acquired by SAP.
okay,
It is a travel expenses management tool. Here, what we will be doing is a cost activity will be linked to my Concur. Only
okay,
cost activities, nothing else.
okay.
And the
So
cost
there,
will be captured directly to my cost activities.
okay.
So
So there is
in
okay, go
Concur
ahead.
tool, employees will be booking their flights and they will be capturing their actuals and expenditures and everything, all the travel expenses, their per diems, their allowances, and everything will be captured in my Concur tool. And all cost will be flowing into my cost activities.
Got it. Through an interface, is it?
Yes. Through you can have RFC connections, or
Okay,
I guess now RFC connections are no more required for Concur and SAP because Concur is directly into SAP.
okay. So they have some adapters, those kind of things.
Maybe I'm not sure because
Okay,
just a couple of years back I used Concur when it was an independent.
okay,
I was using RFC that time. We had a lot of issues with RFCs. Whenever system refreshment happens, RFC will get failures and lot of tickets, and our life will be hell.
I
We'll
totally
not be knowing
understand.
where exactly the it goes into. And we used to run the AL11 thing. We have to go to the Active Directories and we have to see where exactly the cost objects lying with. Whether it is an outbounded or inbounded and concurrent, everything we need to look after.
Got it.
And material planning, how exactly I'm going to do my materials. So this is the link where you can see my project systems has been it's been linked with my SD. So why with SD? Because I will be selling these through SD. If there are service materials, my SD is required for RV billing. If there are directly delivery from projects, I can do the delivery from projects, or I can do the delivery from SD also, from sales order also. I will be procuring the materials from through project systems, but I'm selling these materials through sales orders. And materials management itself is very much integrated with, because I have to run my procurement cycle. And why PP, production planning, why it has come? Whenever I'm doing my internal production, I will be assigning an internal order to my internal activity, and MRP will get generated. Once it will done, if the stock is not available, again cycle. If stock is available, directly it will go for production planning, and the finished goods, FG will come and sit into my activity again. Once I do the GI, goods issue, either to sales order or directly to the customers. This is how the cycle is.
Okay. So just to elaborate on that, you said that, if it is, the internal processing, you said, the internal order, that would be, the assigned to the, the activity, and with the, the MRP run, your planned order, and, the production order, that will happen. And in the end, the goods receipt is, the completed. And then, you will have a queue stock, right? The stock
Yes.
is, assigned to the, the WBS, the element.
Yes.
And then if it is a, the customer, the project, so we will be, the delivering the, the stock through a sales order, right? Okay, that's
Yes.
where,
Either sales order or directly from project or delivery from projects.
okay, delivery from the project, the directly. Okay, got it.
Directly, yes.
Okay,
We can do it either way. How exactly we are going to do it? If we do it through sales order, that's fine. We'll be creating a sales order and it will be get captured in sales order and everything. Yes, we'll be doing it. Normally, preferably 90% we'll be doing it from through sales order only, delivery from sales order only. Once we have the finished goods, those goods will be assigned to my WBS, and my WBS will be account assignment in my sales order. In the
okay,
same sales order, the same material will be assigned to my sales order. And once it has been finished goods is been issued to sales order, from sales order to delivery to customer.
okay, okay, okay. Here the sales order is there to deliver the, the project stock to the, the customer, but sales order would not, act as a requirement, the generation, the element. So all the, the requirements to the, the production planning team is, the generated through the internal order assignment to the project, the activity. Is it?
Yes, yes, yes. Once I have my PS in position, everything PS will take care. It will
Okay.
integrate SD, it will integrate PP, it will integrate MM. All three modules are running in a single platform. That is
Okay.
why we use PS. Normally in sales order, what we will be doing, whenever we want to, suppose internal production happens, separately PP will work separately, MM PP integration will be there, and once finished goods will be done, then SD will come into picture and SD will deliver it to the customer, right?
Yep.
So there are some gaps in the system, so there is no continuous flow. There are some manual interventions, and the controls are not completely automatic. So when we use PS, everything is automatic. Automatic controls are there. Everything flows. There is no manual intervention. Normally, why we go with the PS is PS has got lot of automatic controls. Your manual interventions will be minimized. I mean, everything will be captured in the system. Whatever we do, there will be a flow. The entire flow will be there. That is why we use the PS. Even it is very good for audit purpose. whenever the SOX audit takes place, na,
Yeah.
in SAP ITGC and all, this plays a very important role. Normally, they look after for the manual controls or automatic controls in audits. In SOX controls also, in SOX controls normally they go with the ITGC part. In ITGC, in SAP ITGC part, so they will look, okay, what is a, whether it is a manual controls or it is an automatic controls. If it is a manual controls, you need to give a lot of explanations how you are controlling it and who is controlling it and everything. If it is an automatic control, you only need to show them the path, how exactly it happens in SAP. Okay, then your SOX, you are compliant with the SOX compliance.
Understand.
That is why most of the organizations they are forced to go to SAP PS now because it is very much compliance with SOX. So now the integration with MM and PP, the PS integration with MM and PP. So materials required for performing an activity for manufacturing of a product. Item category L or N. L is nothing but an my reservation stock item. N is a non-stock item. If it is a reservation, I have to run my MRP, material requirement planning. Why reservation is? I am reserving these materials for my production thing. If it is a non-reservation, my PR will get generate. Once PR will get generate, it will go to the MM, PO, again the same cycle process. In MRP, what happens? Once I run the MRP for the stock items, if there is no stock, if there is no stock of this particular materials, then PR, PO, and again the same thing. You got it, Prabha? Are you following this?
Yeah. This is there in customer service, the flow as well. I'm following you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, fine. So my bill of materials, BOM. BOM is a very critical one in PP1. So what is BOM? My bill of materials. Suppose for my finished goods, for my concrete, if I take a concrete as my BOM, concrete M35. So I will be creating a BOM for this one. So cement, how much I'll be using for 1 cubic meter of concrete, how much BOM will be required? What is the BOM? What is the bill of materials? Cement, aggregate, sand, water, and fine dust. This is my BOM. So 1 cubic meter of concrete, so and so. 0.7 kgs of my cement and 0.3 kgs of aggregate, 20 kgs of my fine dust. So whatever the BOM, whatever my what we call it as an materials required for to create my finished product. Normally, the quality people will be giving the BOM definitions, and PP people will be establishing the BOM. And once through PS, my internal activity in the internal activities, whenever I'm creating a project production order, BOM will get BOM will get triggered. So once the BOM get triggers, if the stock is not available of the particular material, again the MM cycle will get started.
Got it.
So the cost planning, we already discussed this one. So how exactly the cost will flow in my projects. So normally there are two types of cost planning. One is manual cost planning, another one is the automatic cost planning. So once we have the activities in place, it is nothing but an automatic cost planning. It will be from bottom to top. All my cost will get from bottom to top. In this one, my unit cost planning and my easy cost planning, there are the two methods which will be in my automatic cost planning. Easy cost planning, we will be creating an e-forms. Suppose we have an deliberate works, we will be doing it now and then very frequently, especially in construction projects. We will be having easy cost plannings. Unit cost planning is nothing but my per unit how much cost I'm going to incur. Like we will have the number of activities. Activities will be having the material components. So each material component will have their unit cost, and each internal activities will have their unit cost to perform those activities, and hence my unit cost will be determined through activities. Manual cost planning is nothing but an my manually I'm doing it. How I'm going to manually doing it? Through my cost element unit planning. Cost element planning is where in SAP PS we can go for the cost element planning. So each materials will have their own cost elements, like the same with the each resources. So for each cost I'm going to incur with. So when I'm going to not place any activities for my WBS, then I'm going to plan my cost through cost element planning. Cost element planning is a very tedious and cumbersome one. So everybody will go with the automatic cost planning, which will be united when we have the activities in place. That is why I was insisting we should have the activities in place so that we will have a very beautiful PS structure.
Okay.
So you can plan the project cost in two different ways. One is manual planning, another one is automatic cost planning. See, in addition to the manual planning in WBS, you also have the option of creating activities for WBS elements and using these activities to plan cost. Why? What is the advantages for this one is the result plan can be copied to new projects. We can make it as a template also. If the parts of the project are shifted, cost planning is shifted automatically along with the activities. So whenever I move my WBS from one level to another level, accordingly the entire structure, the below activities will also get moved. And simultaneously my scheduling and my time scheduling and planning will get moved and it again. Suppose if I am breaking my structure, if I am altering my structure, accordingly my plan elements, my time along with the activities. If I don't have the activities, I'm going to do my cost planning through cost element planning, which is so again whenever you break your structure, you need to do it again. You got it, Prabha?
Yep.
So this is see my unit cost planning. How I'm going to do my unit cost planning. So we have the different ones like what is the materials I'm going to use it, and what is unit value of the materials, and what is the activity. So activity is nothing but my internal activities. So how many units, how many cost centers I'm going to use it, and what is the unit value of each cost center. Nothing but my crew, my personal assignment tab. So this is how I'm going to.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Prabha. You have some question.
In this, the example, you have that, the 20,400 value, right? Dollar value or whatever it may be. That's the, the total value, right? Okay.
Yes.
In the quantity column, you have 601, right? So when you calculate the, the unit cost, will it be, it's a straight divide between, the value and, the quantity, total value and quantity? Can you
No.
explain?
Yes. Let me explain it properly here. My material, I'm having the material of 500 quantity.
Okay.
What is the material price here? Material price is here is 10 euros per
Okay.
unit.
Yeah.
The quantity is 500. 500 into 10 gives me 5,000.
Okay.
And my
So this,
activity here is 100 hours.
okay.
But my unit cost, it is KP26 data, KP21 data.
Okay.
My
Okay.
activity type and cost center. This is 70 euros per hour. I am having 100 hours for this particular cost center.
Okay.
Because activity is always defined to cost centers.
Okay.
The combination of activity type and cost center will be defined in my KP21. 2021 and the rate is here. And materials are being assigned to plant here. The material belonging to this particular plant will have the unit value of 10 rupees.
So you mean standard price?
Yes, standard. Maybe standard price or even moving average price, whatever it is.
Whatever
We
it may
have
be.
defined,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
whatever we have defined in my master data, the same will be there.
Okay. Okay.
You see here, even my material prices will differ from plant to plant. This is obvious, right? Do
Yeah.
you agree with this point?
Yes. Valuation area will be different, right? Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Because valuation area belongs to the plant.
Correct.
In commonly we say that materials in the plant, the value of the materials in the plant differs from plant to plant. That's why always materials are being treated along with the plant side. In PS, whenever you see in activities column, plant field is a very mandatory one.
Okay.
You need to input the plant field because all your costs, rates, everything will be determined from your plants. Even here the cost centers and the activity types, this will be determined through indirectly from the work center, directly from the work centers, indirectly from the plant.
Can you repeat what you just said? Funny. I'm sorry.
Yeah, here I am getting the euro unit price is 70 euros.
Yes.
Here I am nowhere using the plant here. I am only using the cost center and the activity type combination.
Correct.
Right? Yes. And how I'm going to determine this one? Just now I told you that plant is a very important thing in PS. Don't you think I'm contradicting my statement here? I will explain it to you here why it is. Because in internal activities, what is the major important thing is my work center.
Correct.
The resources belongs to work center plays a very important role. And in the work center, whenever the resources are being placed in a work center, they will be given in cost center. You got it, or you were getting confused here?
Yeah. I'm clear. Yeah. Obviously, the work center is, created in a plant as well, right? And, which will have the cost center.
Work center belongs to plant always.
Yep.
Work centers always, the combination to the work center and plant is 1 and work centers are n, 1:n.
Yes.
1:n combination will be there. And hence, that's why I'm just emphasizing this one is in PS, plant plays a very important role. To which plant I'm working for. Earlier, even in finance, business area was there, and now business area has been it has been overridden with something else. Now even finance people also, they are not using business area. It has some drawbacks by using business area in SAP. It has been contracting it somewhere. I'm not sure about what exactly it is.
Okay.
So this is how my unit costing will comes up in my activities. So what is my transport? Transport is nothing but my general cost activity. I told you, my travel expenses.
Yeah. That's clear.
I'm planning it here. And my overheads. How overheads are exactly calculated? Overheads are calculated through my profiles.
So overheads, they will also be captured under the general cost, the activity.
No, not in general cost activity. Whenever I'm doing my period closings, actual overheads will get captured over there. My planned overheads will be captured through my profiles.
Okay.
In configuration, I will be defining the profiles, and I will be giving them, if suppose the cost is 100 units, 1% of the cost will be treated as an overhead, or 2% of the cost, whatever it is.
Okay.
This is how my planning will occur.
Okay. So can I?
Okay. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. No problem.
No, I just had a call. I kept it aside. Yeah.
Okay. So can you repeat? Where do we do this? The overhead cost. The planning, Funny. If you don't mind, can you repeat?
I will show it in the system once we come aboard there.
Okay.
You
Okay.
just have a glimpse of that. Even in unit costing, we will be capturing the overheads.
Okay. Okay.
Normally, in expenses, there are two types of expenses. One is direct expenses, another one is indirect expenses.
Okay.
Direct expenses are the one which have the units and the cost. The cost into unit gives you total price, total value.
Okay.
Okay, and the overheads expense, indirect expenses. Indirect expenses are the one which we will not accumulate it directly. Suppose the head office staff, they will not be working to a particular project, but their expenses has to be incurred. Your office maintenance, nowhere it will get any revenue, but it is an indirect expenses for you, right?
Yes.
You cannot capture it in any of the activity. It is a general cost. Office maintenance cost is general cost. You cannot place it to any activity, right?
Correct.
And your canteen expenses also, it is a general cost activity. The cost will lie for the entire project. It will not get any revenue, but still you have to maintain it. These kind of cost is all called as indirect expenses. That's nothing but an overhead expenses. Normal total cost equal to direct expenses plus indirect expenses.
Okay.
Even if you see the item category MEV, these are all the direct expenses. The G overheads is the indirect expenses.
Okay. Okay.
So how I'm going to do my planned costing network the same way, whether it is an external processing or internal processing or the services or the primary cost, everything will get accumulated. If it's the material components, see material components, I have assigned it to my external processing and internal processing both. Why for internal processing? Internal processing, goods transfer will be happening. If I have the stock in place already in my plants, I will be using these metal components, but I have to capture the cost of these metal components, right?
Correct.
That's why I will be assigning it to my internal processing. If I have to procure the goods, then I will be assigning it to my external processing. And my primary cost, basically my travel expenses, sundry charges, these are my primary cost. And my services, everything, all the costs automatically get captured here. See, now my cost planning, it is in bottom up. I will be taking it from my least activities to my WBS. It is in bottom up.
Okay.
But once I have the budget, approved budget is always top down distribution.
Okay.
So my overall budget of the project is 200 crores. I have allocated it as a 200 crores. So you have to allocate the budget from top to bottom. For level WBN, for level 1 WBS, 50 crores. And again, level 1 2 WBS, 50 crores. Level 1 3 WBS, 50 crores. Level 1 4 WBS, 50 crores. In level 1 1 WBS, 50 crores will be again from top to bottom to WBS elements to network activities, networks and network activities.
So how do we the distribution, right? The total, the budget, the distribution to the WBS. So is that manually decided or applied, systematically, by the system?
You can do it manually or even in system only you can do it. In CJ30, you give the total, you will have the cost planning first. You will be copying the cost planning in column A.
Okay.
And once you have the budget placed, you can copy paste the same cost planning as your budget. or you can distribute it manually from WBS to WBS. Always, I told you, again I'm repeating, budget can be assigned only to WBS.
Got it.
WBS has to take care of its networks and activity cost, and it has to distribute its budget accordingly. We have to assign budgets only to WBS, and we cannot assign budget to networks also. System will not allow you. System will not give any option to assign it. It is a part of an investment management. So normally, whenever we have the investment projects, obviously budget will come into picture. Even if we don't have the investment projects also, we will be using the budgets, because nowadays all the projects have budget constraints. Even if you're doing anything, there's a budget constraint. We will be having the budgets. What is my availability control? Why exactly I will be using my availability control here? So it's fine, you are using a budget here. You are telling your team that, boss, you are supposed to complete the project and so and so. That happened. So how system will know you have to do your work within this limited budget? Then we will be assigning this availability control, the tolerance limits. Even in SPRO, if you go to the budget tab, and in project systems, in finance, in budget tabs, under you will see tolerance limits. There we will go and we will be establishing this availability control, where we will be saying that if the project reaches the budget level of 80%, it should trigger an information message saying to the responsible person, saying that you have already consumed 80% of your budget. If it
Okay.
exceeds 90%, it will give us a warning. We can configure this 80-90%, whatever it is. We can configure there in our availability control and tolerance limit. I'm giving an example here.
Okay.
If my budget consumes for 95%, then system will stop us. It will give us an error message. You cannot perform any of the activity. So whenever you try to push the activities, system will give us an error saying that reach the tolerance limit. Then you need to supplement the budget, enhance the budget. Again, same thing. CJ30, CJ31, CJ32. We have to do the same things.
Got it.
So this is a planning profile. In planning profile, what we do the overall planning for internal projects, hierarchy cost planning for the projects, and how my costing should be done, my financial budget, everything will be determined in my planning profile.
Okay.
And this is my budget profile. So what kind of currency and whether availability control is activated or not, and everything will be determined here. Basically, these two are the very important one: my planning profile and my budget profile, from which your entire project is depending. It will determine what exactly it is.
Okay.
So this is the basic. Today just we have completed this one.
Thank you, Funny. Yep.
Yeah, it will take some couple of days for us to take us through SAP things. I mean directly into SAP 1.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Tomorrow, what time in weekdays your time is preferable, Prabha?
Um, it would be great, if we have the sessions in the same timing, either at 9:30 p.m. my time or the 9 p.m. my time. Usually in the morning I leave at 7:15. because of the distance and the the start timing. So morning might not work. My morning time. So would it be
Even
possible for
I
you
have
to
the
have?
same constraints. I have the same constraints here. Morning I have to leave early to the office.
Okay.